This Tarkov wipe has been absolutely brutal for most of us. With all the bugs, audio changes, memory leaks and more, there's no question that performance-wise, this game has run like shit. Just to make things worse, cheating has been completely out of hand, causing there to be a tear in the community. Tension was high at the beginning of this wipe, and as soon as Goatmoths uploaded his video, it just sent Tarkov into a frenzy. So let's get into the drama that is surrounding the Tarkov community. Now, I'm not really one to talk about drama, and I really try my hardest to stay out of it, but ever since Goatmoths upload, there's been nothing but drama and hate going around the Tarkov world. I personally don't care what content creators do with their content. It's completely up to them, and I'm not going to be sitting here arguing who was right and who was wrong. That is going to be up to you guys to decide. But one thing that I did want to go into is the fire that BSG has been under this entire wipe. There's no question that BSG throughout the years has been rather absent, to say the least, when it comes to communication with their fandom. But this wipe, it seems that the community has reached its breaking point and really has been non-stop firing shots at BSG. This is coming from a lot of big creators and has caught the attention of a lot of people. All I see on social media anymore is just hate for BSG. But in my opinion, I don't think that they're getting enough credit for what they've done and what they're doing. So this might be a hot take, but I don't think BSG is completely to blame for the current state that Tarkov has become. Let me explain. It is easy to look at all the bad that has come recently, but let's take a look at some of the good things that they have done. Ever since the video has been released, BSG seems to have gotten a fire lit under them, and they seem to be determined to be more vocal and more transparent with the steps they are taking to optimize the game. They are actively showing a ban list of how many cheaters they are banning each week. They have been releasing a ton of updates to the game and changing a lot of what the community has been asking for a while. For example, no barter trays on the fleet, and tax penalties on different items being reduced. They changed some of the quests around that people were having a hard time completing, such as shooter-born back down to 100-meter headshots, and capturing outposts changed to 8 kills, and is no longer required to get Kappa. There is a lot that has been done in just a couple of weeks, not to mention they are still working on updates for the game to be released in April. These are all good changes for the game, and are something that doesn't get recognized because everyone only focuses on the bad. Whenever Battlestate Games does something good, you hear nothing about it, and then just as soon as something bad happens, everyone seems to have a bad opinion about them. I'm not saying that BSG should get off lightly this time, because they are definitely still at fault for a lot of the issues that has happened recently. So let's talk about what they could have and should have done to make things better. Starting off with this wipe. Unfortunately, this game suffers from having wipes. Because there's so much hype built around wipes, BSG seems to always rush through things and release unfinished features just to please everyone who is constantly asking for when the wipe is. With a new wipe comes a lot of new features, and most of the time they are not fully tested and are not in a perfect state. But I don't blame BSG for some of these things, because a lot of it is hard to test until it's actually released to the public, and they can then optimize servers and other technical aspects of the game. I'm not a game developer, so I don't know what all goes into this, but I do know that most games have a ton of issues upon release. With that being said, I do not blame BSG for streaks running like shit at the beginning of this wipe. We should have all expected that to be the case, but one thing that they've changed, which I think should have been delayed until it was foolproof, is the new audio that they added. This was and still is really bad, and definitely seems to have been not ready for the public. They should have waited until they fully tested and pushed it out in a later patch. This one is on BSG and should have been something to consider. Now, those issues are not too big of a deal and can be easily fixed and worked around by the players, but one thing that has happened this wipe that caused a major outburst was the Invisibility Bug. For a game like Tarkov, where you can lose all the gear that you bring into a raid, this type of bug is unacceptable. Now, I'm not saying that it was their fault that this glitch happened, but what I'm saying is unacceptable is the amount of time it took to fix this bug. As soon as the bug initially got reported, there should have been all hands on deck to figure out what was causing it and removing it ASAP. No matter what the cause was, whether it was a glitched item or a queuing system or whatever, they should have been able to trace it back and have been able to at least disable the feature until they could find a solution. Letting the game continue with such a broken bug is not okay at all, especially for a game where you lose items. This is on BSG and should have been handled better. After the invisibility bug, there raised more questions just to how many cheaters were actually in the game. Because there are no kill cams or anything like that in this game, it is hard to tell whether people were cheating or not. To add invisibility bugs just adds fuel to the fire, especially now when the cheating has gotten out of control in this game. Although it is BSG's fault in the end for the cheating that has plagued this game, I don't think that it's fair to completely throw all the blame on them. Every single multiplayer game out there has had or is still dealing with cheaters. Whether that be COD, Valorant, Fortnite, Rainbow Six Siege, you name it, there were cheaters at one point. Unfortunately, I think that cheating will always be a part of multiplayer gaming, and that is just something we're all going to have to deal with and accept. There seems to be a wave of cheating that hits every game at some point, and right now it is all on Tarkov. Take a look at Warzone a couple years ago. In the beginning, there were hardly any cheaters. Then after about a year, you saw a ton of hackers running around the map, and it caused a ton of people to stop playing, myself included. But after a while, there seemed to be less and less cheaters. I think that cheating in gaming as a whole comes in waves and hits games that are popular all at once and then dies off eventually. Most of the time, you will notice it more from bigger streamers because they're being stream sniped by these cheaters and trying to get noticed and get in front of a big audience. Just think about how many clips you see of people cheating. And sure, some of it can be funny or make for a clickable content, but that is ultimately hurting the cause because it just entices more people to do it. So not only is BSG to blame, but so are some of these creators as well who give the spotlight to all these cheaters. Because of the hype from this wipe and how popular the game has gotten, plus adding on Twitch drops to the beginning of this wipe, it has just piqued the interest of more hackers out there, and now we are all suffering from this cheating plague. But BSG is not completely out of the clear because they have definitely dropped the ball when it comes to preventing cheating. Sure, they can post a ban list and show how many cheaters they banned, but that doesn't mean anything if the cheaters can just make a new account and start all over again. This is where BSG and all game developers need to step up their game and find a way to prevent these cheats from happening in the first place. This is truly the only way to stop the cheating pandemic, and unfortunately, I don't think that this can ever really be stopped. Even with two-step authentication, cheaters still find a way to get around it, and it's going to be a never-ending battle, as sad as it is. The only way to truly stop cheating is if these game developers and companies can take legal action against cheating. Unfortunately, that's going to be a long ways away if that ever comes to fruition. But legal action is really the only way to stop cheating in the first place. And ultimately, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but that's truly the only way to stop cheating from happening in the first place. So let me know what you guys think about the current state of the game and the current state of gaming in general. Do you think there's a good method to prevent cheaters? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that like if you've enjoyed, and hit that subscribe button to see more videos of me in the future. It's free, and you can always change your mind later. That is all I have for you in today's video, so thank you all for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace out.